What is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic as always. Thank you so much for tuning into another video here on the Simply Car Things YouTube channel. And today, as the title of the video would suggest, we are going to be diving into why the BMW S55 sounds so bad. Now, I put bad in quotation marks because, again, one thing that I would like to reiterate as a disclaimer for the introduction of this video is that sound is completely subjective, and there are a lot of people out there that actually really enjoy the sound that this car makes, including myself. I'm a big fan of the S55 and the exhaust note. For sure, I can definitely see why a lot of people don't think it sounds the best, but I think over time, the more you hear it, and especially if you own one and you get to experience all the different sounds that it does make, I think it can actually sound pretty good with the right exhaust system. That is not the point of today's video, and we're just going to be breaking down why the S55 sounds the way it does. So to get to the bottom line, the reason why the S55 exhaust has that very raspy, sort of aggressive, uneven tone to it that a lot of people have compared to a weed whacker or a lawnmower or just something that does not sound good. I think that's a relatively accurate general consensus that a lot of people have come to, especially people that don't own these cars. The reason why is because of the unequal length downpipes that the BMW S55 uses. Traditionally, when you think of what an inline six is supposed to sound like, you think of a very sweet sounding, deep, sonorous exhaust note that just has so much character throughout the RPM band, and it's something that is quite iconic with the likes of the 2JZ engine, the RB26, the N54 engines, N55, B58. There are so many successful inline sixes that sound absolutely incredible. And then when you get to the S55, it's like, well, why does it sound so different from all of those things? Well, again, it has to do with that unequal length downpipe setup, and it also has to do with the fact that this is a twin turbo inline six rather than something that uses a single turbo or a single twin scroll turbo. Now, Active Auto Work is a company based out of Florida that actually does a ton of performance tuning for different sports cars, and they also make a lot of BMW exhaust systems, and they have definitely worked to perfect the sound of the S55. And on their website, they have a great explanation breaking down the technicals behind why the S55 sound isn't the best, and also basically explaining why the unequal length system is what is the root cause of the choppy and unfavorable exhaust tone. So I'm going to quote them for just a quick second and give you their explanation and breakdown because they do a really good job of it. I will also link this exact article in the description box down below. An inline six engine naturally has an evenly spaced exhaust pulse, which results in a more smooth and full sounding noise. However, the twin turbo setup of the S55 engine, while producing additional power, has created a sound which sounds more like two independent inline threes competing for noise than the throaty inline six sound that one would expect. The variance between the lengths of the front and rear downpipes of almost 1.5 feet creates unevenly spaced exhaust pulses so that when they merge in any form of crossover system, whether it's the stock mid-pipe, X-pipes, double X-pipes, a single mid-pipe, or any rear section solution, you still get the bad sound. Since the sound waves are moving at the same rate when they exit the system, these crossover sections are simply creating a higher pitch sound, resulting in the annoying sound that some have referred to as a wheat eater sound. And so in a nutshell, if you got a little bit lost there, the problem is that these unequal exhaust pulses are being forced to merge at the mid-pipe section of the exhaust or even the rear section. And that again is what is causing that really raspy, sort of sterile tone that the exhaust produces. The other thing is, if your car is equipped with a DCT gearbox, there is also some additional flatulence from the exhaust system because of how hard it shifts and on some of those downshifts. And that can kind of give you that farty, like annoying sound when you're letting off the accelerator or during certain upshift elements. And also, if you have MDM on and you're accelerating and traction control kicks in, the sound of the traction control kicking in and cutting power on these cars also creates that really annoying, farty, raspy sound that really interrupts the smooth inline six tone that one would expect with a car like this. So it's sort of a combination of those three factors. Again, that unequal length setup that's forcing the unequal length exhaust pulses to merge over into that crossover section or into that mid pipe. Then you also pair in the fact fact that if you have a DCT, you get some just extra somewhat annoying sounds coming out from the gearbox. And then you also have MDM cutting power, which really kills the exhaust sound of these cars quite a bit. Again, I personally like the sound, and to each their own. I know there's a lot of people that are just not a fan of it, and there are a lot of people out there that also do like the sound. So again, I think it really comes down to the type of exhaust system you're having, but what is the general solution to this problem? Well, most people have basically come to the realization that an equal length exhaust setup is the way to go in order to smoothen out the exhaust note and really mitigate a lot of that rasp that the S55 engine is known for. So there are a few companies out there that have actually delved into this realm, and Active Auto Work being one of those companies. They probably have the most popular solution in my opinion at the moment, which is their own equal length mid pipe, and it's actually compatible with a number of different rear section exhaust systems such as the M Performance exhaust, the stock exhaust, the Dynon exhaust. I believe it's compatible with Remus and just a number of other mufflers, as well as catless downpipe setups. There's another company out there known as Valvetronic that was actually probably the first company to mainstream the equalized exhaust system and then also release it to the mass market, and they also have a full exhaust system that is valved, and it is also equal length in design as well. And again, there are a few other companies out there that are working on their own prototypes and solutions, and it's something that's relatively new to the S55 game, but it definitely helps a lot with that sound. I personally think one of the biggest ways to combat the sound with these cars is not just by getting an aftermarket setup or doing a muffler delete or just straight piping the exhaust, because usually those setups sound pretty bad in my opinion. These cars take a lot of resonators in order to sound good. So I think if you get something like an equal length mid pipe that's resonated with a set of resonated catless downpipes, and then you have a proper aftermarket valved muffler such as the M Performance or the Dynon or something in that nature, I think that is going to ideally produce the best sounding exhaust setup for your scenario or for your case. Now, if you're somebody that's just looking to extract as much performance as possible out of the car, wants to just shed weight, if you're like a hardcore track rat, just straight pipe the car. That's probably going to be the best thing you can do, just because it may not sound the best, but you're going to shed a lot of weight, and again, for that specific reason, you don't need to worry about how sweet the exhaust is sounding. Basically, in a nutshell, that is a simple explanation as to why the S55 doesn't sound that good. So I hope you guys were able to take away some information from this video. I hope you guys were able to find some of this information useful and helpful for your future case as well. And as always, if you could please smash that thumbs up button, please subscribe to my channel down below. I would appreciate that a ton. And as always, I will catch you all in the next video. Take it easy, everybody. Bye-bye.